All right, well, let's bring up Reggie Brooks now, who didn't want to say anything with the Snow Bowl. But, to me, when I see Notre Dame tailbacks, and there was a time when you think of Bettis and Ricky Waters and Reggie Brooks, and there was this 40 that could never be stopped. And he ran either like somebody was really chasing you, or you had a coach with a lisp that was really yelling at you a lot. So give me a Lou Holtz story in terms of just something from Coach Holtz behind the scenes that we might not know about from Lou.
Good or bad?
Well, it's sort of a PG-13 audience, so feel free to say whatever you need to say.
Well, I remember coming in as a freshman. The year I came in was the year right after the national championship, and we had the kickoff classic. It was the first game of the season, so that freshman class had to come in early. And back then, I don't know if they still do it, the freshman class would come in a week before the upperclassmen. And when you're a recruit, you get wined and dined, and you think you're pretty hot stuff. You're big man on campus back in your high school. And when I came on my recruiting visit, my brother was already there, but he was my host, but I didn't see him for maybe once or twice on a weekend. So I come in as a freshman and thinking, okay, I remember my recruiting visit, life was good, everything was great, and Coach Holtz was this, really nice guy. He was sat in my living room and spoke to my parents, and my mom and dad just loved him, and I'm thinking, oh, he's just a cool little fella. Well, freshmen come in, and was myself and Dorsey Levens were the only backs there. And when the upperclassmen out there, you only have like 30 guys as freshmen coming in, so you have to do both offense and defensive position. So we're going through, and this is two-a-days, and we're going through practice, and I'd never heard Coach Holtz yell before. So we're going through practice, and we're doing some offensive drills, and I run through the whole one. I guess I ran through the wrong one. I don't think I did, but I turn around, and he's right there in my face. I'm like, where the hell did he come from? And he commenced to chewing me out, and he's about this tall, and he's, what the hell? I'm like, but Coach, I'm Reggie, remember? And I'm like in shock because he's just ripping me a new one, and I'm like, are you supposed to do that? Remember you were in my house like 6 months ago, and I was the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, he's just all over me, and I'm like, what the hell did I just get myself into? And from that day on, and later on that day, he was saying, he told us, you're not going to like me, but when you leave here, you're going to thank me after you leave here. And I was still not over the shock of him just berating me in front of the entire team. I'm like, I hate your ass. But to this day, every off-season, every summer, I give him a call, check on him, check on his wife, and I thank him to this day, because he always still, the three things he talks about all the time: love, trust, and commitment. He preached that. We didn't never really talk about a lot about sports. I think the whole time I was there, he would always bring someone to speak to the team. And I think my 4 years there was a sports figure that spoke to the team maybe 5 times. And like every game for 4 years, he would have someone speak to the team. And it was usually men from the business industry, CEOs, motivational speakers, people that he'd come across. And
people at the university who said not for money.
Probably. But the thing that really struck me was that the things that he talked about where football was concerned was about life. And he always talked about, the things that you learn on the football field transition in your everyday life, and those are the things that I carry this day. 3 questions. Can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence, and do you care about me? And I ask myself those 3 questions in my marriage. I ask those 3 questions in when I go to work, my spiritual life, and it just resonates to me, and I teach that to my children. So he had a profound effect on me as an 18-year-old kid coming out of high school, and seeing this little man with such power berate you, but it's like, I could crush you. But you would never even think of doing that because he commanded such respect, because you knew he cared about you. He cared about you. He made a commitment to my mother. And when I left Notre Dame, I didn't finish until a few years later, but he would call me and say, have you finished that commitment to your mother? Because he sat in my living room and spoke to my mom about, he will graduate. I don't care whatever else happens, he will graduate from the University of Notre Dame. And really, I said, my mother was not sold on me going to Notre Dame because it was 12 hours away, a 12-hour drive from Oklahoma, and I'm a mama's boy. And she was like, my baby, and I was the baby boy, and she was like, you're not leaving here. But after Coach Holtz left, and like I said, my brother had already gone, but she was like, okay, you got one of my sons, you're not gonna get the second. So after he left there, she said, I'm at peace with the decision that you make to go up and play for the University of Notre Dame. And that family and that commitment, that trust and that love we have for one another, regardless of whether you played on the playing field or was a student in the dorms, that resonates through the Notre Dame family, and it will always be such. And I'm so blessed to be a part of this function because it's family. I'm with family. And as the youngest of 4 children, family has always been a focal point in my life, and to have the opportunity to come back, and as Dan said, God said, will you come up and play? It's like, that's a no-brainer. You come to support family, you come to be with family, and you come to enjoy family, because that's how I was raised, and that's the reason I went to Notre Dame.